All right. Looks like that's pretty much it. Okay. So, I guess we'll just go down the... Well, no, I'll go in the order of, like, how I think I organized it on here. Yeah, I organized it alphabetically in the tier list, so we'll go alphabetically. We will start with Air Superiority. Oh, you can't see the game. Harassed by helicopters, unable to call... Oh, I guess I should preface this by saying what I'm going to be, like, judging these on. So... Without getting, like, too serious in it, I'm going to try to grade them on, number one, just how fun they are to use. I think that's, like, the first and foremost thing for whether an airstrike is good is, like, how fun it is to use in the context of the game. This is not going to be, this is not going to be, like, a speed, how good they are for speedrunning. None of this is going to have to do with speedrunning. This is all, like, a casual gameplay point of view. So fun is number one. If the airstrike is fun, even if it sucks, then it doesn't matter. It's doing well. Next up is probably practicality. I don't know. Prenup, do you have a better word for that? Like how effective it is?
Yeah, usefulness.
Usefulness. I'd say effectiveness. And also, let me go ahead and let me reset the factions if I can figure out how to do that. What's the cheat code for factions? 1, 2, 3, 4.
Up, down,
There we
left.
go.
Right? Yeah, I don't remember. I just had to use it on a stream the other day, but I already forgot.
Yeah, I want to make the Mafia neutral so that the airstrikes all cost like exactly how much they're supposed to cost, versus like because there's modifiers placed on them depending on how much the Mafia likes you. So
Yeah.
so number one is fun. Number two is effectiveness. Number three is cost, which does tie into effectiveness a bit, but basically like I'm going to do like a bang for your buck kind of thing, and then. Maybe lastly, like uniqueness, like how you know, I guess coolness. So there's a fun factor, a cool factor, and effectiveness, and a price. So we'll go on that. So we'll start with air superiority. It is $200,000. As far as like how fun this is to use, like honestly, it's pretty dull. There are helicopters around here. Let's see if I can get one like to be close enough that I can shoot it down. Although I don't know if this will actually target allied copters.
Yeah, that one we might need to save and go to a place with some hostile helicopters.
Well, so I will say though, here we go. Here's a helicopter. One thing I don't like about this airstrike, and I will shoot these guys to. Wow, I'm using the wrong buttons. I'll shoot these guys to try to get their attention. One thing I don't. Oh, did they just despawn? Oh no, they didn't. One thing I don't like about this airstrike is that, as far as I know, this North Korean helicopter that's like right next to me, which is mine. Like I'll like get into this. And it even has a friendly inside of it. If I call this in, I'm pretty sure it'll blow this up because it's like technically an enemy helicopter. Like it turns my reticle red. And that is a huge shortcoming of this from like a development standpoint.
Yeah, it really ties or clamps down the usefulness when it can just destroy a helicopter that you stole and are trying to use for yourself.
So, as you can tell, it blew up my helicopter, but not the one I actually wanted to blow up. So now we'll try to use it. Now that they're actually shooting at me, let's see if it blows up. Technically their own guy. I mean, this is like the allies coming in to shoot down an allied helicopter. Oh, interesting. Wasn't expecting that. He wisely turned friendly right before the airstrike came in.
That's the oldest trick in the book. I think that's in the Art of War.
Wow, this is like not working, but it's not working because every time I go into the satellite view, this guy turns friendly.
Yeah, you might have to like maybe just blow up the HQ and just make them mad at you. Because as long as the Mafia's like not cranky, it's fine.
Well, what I wanted to test, I will do that. Let's go ahead and do that. The thing I wanted to test though is, wow, where's the bunker buster? I'm struggling. Oh, it's at the very top. The thing that I wanted to test, though, is like, let's say you're fighting a faction who's not traditionally hostile. Can you target their helicopters with it? Because the most deadly helicopters in the game are the South Korean helicopters, actually, not the North Korean ones.
Yeah, that's true.
So let's see now. Let's see if I call an air superiority if this will. So these guys are now, like, permanently hostile with me.
There we go.
Yeah, so it seems like this just does not target anything other than North Korean helicopters. Let's go test South Korean.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that's kind of what we expected because I think generally speaking, it's not terribly often that you're going to be hostile with the other factions, at least, and also be dealing with their helicopters. Like, unless you're choosing one side in like the South Korea versus China storyline, something like that.
Yeah, no, exactly though. But those are like major. Those are like some of the hardest missions in the game. Is whenever you have to like go up against a South Korean force that also has their gunships like in play. So
Yeah,
so I would say like
Like,
this airstrike has honestly like fairly limited application. Um, it's good for blowing up North Korean helicopters, but the problem is if you also have a North Korean helicopter, then like you're screwed.
and not to mention, like, in situations where you're probably going to use this, more than likely you have another way to dispatch whatever the one or two helicopters that are probably harassing you.
These guys
Like
are. I can
you might have
not
a
get
stinger or something.
I cannot get the South Koreans to turn hostile with me. They're just ignoring everyone I'm killing.
They love you.
There we go. Now they're hostile. Okay. So let's go ahead and try this on a South Korean helicopter. Please do not blow that up, North Korea. Wait. Okay, so there we go. So they do blow up. They only don't blow up the allies. That's actually a really interesting little piece of attention to detail.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah. Huh. I wasn't expecting that. Okay, let's go ahead and load the other game. So, oh, we got two people fighting here. I'm not going to spend this much time on every airstrike. Air Superiority definitely has like some weird quirks that were worth exploring. So for anyone who's thinking, oh my god, this is going to go on for like 2 hours. Nice. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, honestly, oh, it even got mine. Honestly, I'd say fun factor for this, like, pretty low, right? Like,
Yeah, it's not really exciting.
and not only is it like not that exciting, but it also, when you can use it, it almost feels like cheese. It's like almost too easy to take down one of the only difficult enemies in the game. Because
That's true.
I think it one-shots everything. I think it one-shots even like Hind Ds. So, so yeah. Fun factor, pretty low. Cool factor, it's 0. I'd say fun factor is like a C tier. Cool factor is like F tier. So we're like around the D range. The cost, like $200,000, not cheap. $200,000 is definitely like, you know, especially if it misses. They charge you the $200,000 even if it misses or if it can't find a target or whatever, which sucks. So it's not cheap. And it is unique, but not like in a way that's interesting. Oh wait, I already covered coolness. What's the other factor? Effectiveness. Effectiveness is very effective. I would say that.
Yeah, it definitely gets the job done when it's in like a situation you can actually use it.
But actually, effectiveness is severely hampered by the fact that if you're flying around with the most common helicopter to have, which is a North Korean MD-500, like, you better be careful or you're going to accidentally blow up your own helicopter or like lose a Hind D that you acquired. So
yeah,
I'm going to put this like, I'm going to say effectiveness is probably like B tier. I'm feeling like a C tier on Air Superiority.
Yeah, it's pretty mid-level, mid to low.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and load. Let's get back to a chill state here. Let's see here. Sorry, I'm not reading chat super well. Okay.
That is a good question that Scarecrow had, is how wide is the range on this one? It's not like hugely.
No,
it's got a pretty tight range around where you target.
in fact, let's go do. I know I said I wasn't going to spend more time on this. I am curious, so I want to go do one more test. We can cover range and we can cover if it can blow up Hind Ds by just flying to the North Korean base in the north, because like there are Hind Ds parked everywhere, and we can just check like which ones it blows up.
Okay, well, that's a good idea.
But I'm gonna have to enter all the cheat codes again. That should be good. Oh my god, so many. Jeez, man. Thank you.
Yeah, it's been a minute, so
Yeah,
it
but
needed to happen.
that goes well beyond your typical monthly sub allowance that you usually do.
I mean, well, how many months have I missed?
Yeah, that's fair. Wow.
Yeah, I figured it's been about 3 months, so then you can't just do like I'd have to do three manually, so I might as well just round it up to five.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so we're getting close to the base here. Oh, I don't have a disguise. Well, it should be okay. I don't think these guys can take off that quickly. So, all right, so we're like right in between. Oh, I did get a disguise. Nice. I'm right in between a bunch of airstrikes here. Or, sorry, a bunch of gunships. Oh, shit. God damn it. SNS signal.
Oh, that can't be good.
It is over yonder. Signal jammer. Wait, it's a KIFE? Huh. That's funny.
Support options are back online.
Kind of a weird... Why can I not... God, the hitboxes on trees in this game are so stupid.
They're nice, random, like little rectangular prisms. It's good stuff.
Alright, so let's see here. So we got 4 helicopters. So it did not get... It got these 2, but it did not get the one that was over there. So, yeah, I mean, the range on that is, like, good, but it's not great. It's certainly not incredible.
Yeah, I mean, considering like how far a helicopter can target you from, it's like reasonable, I guess, because generally they kind of get a little bit close before they target you anyways, and
Yeah.
are actually actively firing on you.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Alright, so now we're going to do the string of artillery strikes. There are 3 in the game. There's artillery strike, artillery barrage, and artillery bombardment. We'll just... I mean, everyone kind of knows what these are. I'll go walk over to some buildings just so we can like see if they'll blow anything up. But these suck. If anyone's played this game, they know how bad the artillery strike is.
Yeah, they're not great.
I'm gonna see if I can even like blow up. There's like a monument over here. I'll go walk over to the monument, and it's like surrounded by buildings, and we'll see how much damage we can do, calling in all 3 artillery strikes in a row, and see what we get. So we'll start with the standard strike. We'll call it right at General Song's feet here. $50,000 is what that costs, which is like not a good value. So let's see how long this lasts for. So that started about 5 seconds ago. Killing civilians, nice.
The added bonus of the collateral damage that comes with these.
And we're done. That lasted, I think, 20 seconds. It did not blow up my intended target. It killed a random civilian, and it cost me $50,000. I could order, like, an anti-tank missile. Well, hell, I could order a surgical strike. I mean, let's see how much a surgical strike costs. Surgical strike is a great benchmark for what the value is of an airstrike. So, surgical strike is also $50,000. So, yeah. So we'll start with that artillery strike right there. I would say the fun factor of an artillery strike is not terrible. It is kind of exciting to throw the smoke grenade and then like get the fuck out as fast as you can.
Yeah.
But so I'd say fun factor is like up there. I think if it was like actually good, if it was effective, it would be fun. So I'm gonna say like honestly B tier for fun factor. Cool factor. It's not really cool. They didn't even have a guy voice to like say he's gonna launch it. I'd say it's like kind of D tier for cool factor.
Yeah, there's a lot of missed opportunities with the cool factor for sure.
Yeah. So now we're like around C. Effectiveness is F tier. So now we're at D. And then the what's the last one? The price. The price is also like for what you're getting, $50,000 is a complete ripoff. So artillery strike goes squarely into F tier. This is probably the worst airstrike in the entire game. It's terrible, and it has almost no practical applications. So, now...
Definitely D tier.
That's where you would put it?
Yeah, D or F is where I would put it. I think I mean, it's hard for me to grade. I guess I'd put it as F tier. I think D tier would be more because it has potential and it's just how they implemented it. But I can't go based on like ideal scenario, because if that was the case, everything would be an S tier because everything would be dope.
Yeah, I mean, I will say that usually when I rate things just in general, the lowest, which like when I review movies, for example, if I finished the movie, then it's capable of getting a 0. Like, if I don't finish the movie, it's not even on my scale. So this is purely relative, where like artillery strike is probably the bottom, therefore it has to be F, and then whatever I end up deciding is the best will be S, and then everything else will kind of fall in between. There might be multiple S's and there might be multiple F's, but like I definitely will have a best and a worst by the time I'm done here. So,
yeah, that's a good scale, I think, to use.
So, okay. I am going to read through these. I forgot to read Artillery Strike. So, Artillery Strike, here, let me pull the game up. Artillery Strike, a gift from our friends across the border. For a small handling fee, we'll arrange for a battery of Chinese artillery to perform a live fire test on the area of your choosing. Wait, that's that's actually funny. So, are the people launching are the people launching the guns under false pretenses? Do they think that they're just like firing at an empty coordinate as a way to like test the ordnance?
Yeah. Is it a live fire test, or is it a live fire test with air quotes around it? Like,
right.
Do they know or not?
Right. And then this one, our forecast clear skies ahead. Harassed by helicopters, unable to call a needed airdrop, we'll make sure an allied fighter sweeps through the skies over your target and clears the area of unfriendlies. Okay. Cool. Some of these definitely have typos in them, but I haven't seen any yet. All right, so next up, artillery barrage. So that first one lasted for like 20 seconds. Let's see how long this one lasts. Oh, and I guess I didn't read it. Artillery barrage. So they didn't even bother to change the text, like the subtext. It's just always a gift from our friends across the border.
Yeah.
What is weird about these, if I remember correctly... Oh, never mind. I thought one of these pictures was different than the others, but no, they're the same. For a small hand... Oh, wait, all of the text is the same. Oh, okay, that's super lame.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that really changes is that little icon in the corner.
Yeah.
The image, that's a shame.
Alright, so the first one hit at 35 seconds on my timer that I've got going. So we'll see when it ends. We'll see if I can even blow up this statue by the time... Oh, okay, we got a building.
Gonna come in on my screen now.
Okay, so it just ended. So that was 30 seconds. So the first one was 20 seconds. The second one was 30 seconds. I guess the final one is probably going to be 40 seconds. We still have not blown up our intended target, by the way. Granted,
definitely,
go ahead.
I was gonna say, yeah, it's definitely, I mean, also disappointing. And I can't tell if it's more or less disappointing because it did destroy more, but how much of that was damaged by the first strike?
Yeah, oh, for sure. No, it's definitely like just helping out the first strike. Oh, I actually got hit there. Wow. So it looks like the radius of the strike might be increasing by the tier you take. So I think it actually becomes less accurate the like higher up you... Oh wow, I blew up one of the helicopters.
Well, I mean, to be honest, there is just frankly too many helicopters in the sky right now anyways, so that's fine.
Yeah, but I'm actually surprised that the strike is that powerful. So it seems like the actual bomb itself can do quite a bit of damage.
Well, I mean, they've also been bonking into each other a bunch, so
yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily give it that much credit.
That's true. So we did not, even with all 3 strikes, we did not blow up the intended target.
I mean, yeah, that last strike, I think it hit like 2 buildings across the street.
Right.
And that's about it.
So I will though, what's the word? I will give it the fact that I'm not using it for the intended purpose. Like artillery strike, I think the idea of the artillery strike is to go into like a big battlefield and send it to where the enemies generally are, and do kind of like a pre-strike before you move in. So like maybe if you're going after a number card, but then you risk killing the number card. So like, I don't know. I don't really think there are many practical applications of this, to be honest.
Yeah, because I mean, I feel like those situations that you would need to use that to pre-clear out an area, you have the risk of maybe collateral damage, like you said, and then in addition to that, it's so infrequent that you're on a scale where that like actually really would help. I think a lot of times you can kind of just handle it with whatever vehicles you've got on you, and then your general armaments, or just a different airstrike.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, so you got it, what it gives you is 10 extra seconds of firing and maybe an increased range the more you go up, but it doesn't actually scale with the pricing. So you pay twice as much for 10 more seconds of less accurate firing. And then you pay $150,000 more for 20 seconds extra of even less accurate firing. So surprisingly, I think I'm actually going to put bombardment as the worst airstrike in the game, and then barrage second, and then airstrike above that.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. It's just like the more expensive it is with this one, like the worse it gets.
Yeah. So I will say there is one trick you can do here where you like throw it and then you like pull out another thing, and then it doesn't cost you any money.
Yeah, anything that uses a smoke grenade, you can do that on.
Yeah. So this is like the only airstrike in the game where you can use that glitch, that exploit, to not pay for the airstrike. But even still,
it's not worth even cheating to get it for free.
Exactly. Like, don't get me wrong, that definitely, if you want to count that, which I don't know if I'm really going to count like exploits in this consideration, but if you are going to count exploits, even with the exploit, this is still F tier, because it's just like so useless. So, all right, moving on. Bunker Buster Bomb, hell yeah. Everyone's favorite.
All right.
Everyone's favorite mega bomb. Hold on, let me get my cheats back. Okay, all right, so everyone kind of knows how the Bunker Buster works. It's just a laser, and you can point it wherever you want, and it is a really big bomb that can blow up basically any structure in the game. I don't think there are really any exceptions. What's the glitch, Pang? Oh, we can't see, sorry, my bad. Yeah, I'm gonna have to remember to do that.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. If there are any structures that cannot be destroyed by it. And I really don't think there is. I think you're right.
So, yeah, I mean, this is, what's on the tier list for you?
I think they were just talking about this stream being on the other tab.
Oh, I see.
But I think it should be back for everybody now.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I have, maybe because I use this one so much, I have very little to say about it. It's fairly expensive. It costs $350,000, but honestly, for what you're getting, like, this is basically a surgical strike on steroids. This is like when the surgical strike doesn't cut it, you use this, and you're usually using it on something that is, like, very dangerous, like a tank tunnel or the Allied HQ.
Yeah.
Something where it's like definitely worth the money to like get the job done, where like the surgical strike wouldn't. And the really nice thing about the Bunker Buster Bomb is it doesn't have that much collateral damage. Like, this is definitely going to kill some things in the area. Let's see. So if you notice, I did kill a couple of like the things driving by, but I didn't actually blow up the surrounding buildings with that airstrike. And that's like pretty nice. I think this is one of the most effective airstrikes in the game. Let's see here. Laser-guided mega bomb. This 4,000-pound penetrator was used in Iraq to destroy heavily fortified bunkers. Don't let the initial blast fool you. This baby packs a wallop. So, I don't know. Prenup, do you have anything to add about this one?
I mean, I think it's highly targeted, which is nice. it can destroy anything in the game. It has like it's not completely useless. Like if you wanted to, you could use it on like a cluster of tanks. It's not the ideal situation, but it does have effectiveness there as well. But then also, I think where it really stands out is just from like a gameplay standpoint. There are times where you are required to use it, so it gets extra usefulness just from like
Necessity.
plot necessity.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I would say like from a fun factor, this is not super high. I don't think the laser guided system is, I think, the most effective system from a player standpoint. I think the satellite one is more fun, but like in terms of like a casual gameplay, the laser's better because it has a much longer range and it's a lot more like it's quicker. You can really just like make whatever happen with it very easily. So fun factor is like B, C, maybe C.
Yeah, it is pretty mid-tier as far as fun.
Yeah, fun factor I'd say is like B or C. Cool factor, it's pretty cool. I like that once it hits. I think it's the only bomb in the game that creates that like big red explosion sphere.
Yeah.
And the first time you fire it, you're not expecting that. Like I think that's cool. So I'd say it's like A tier for effort from that standpoint. Effectiveness is S tier. It's probably the most effective airstrike in the game. Well, other than maybe the surgical strike. And no, I'd say it's the most effective airstrike in the game. I'd say the bunker bus is most effective. And then from a price standpoint, the price for what you're getting, I think is a good value. It's probably like A or B. So I'm feeling an A on the bunker buster bomb. I think this is one of the best airstrikes in the game, but it's not quite cool enough to be an S tier.
Yeah, I was going to say A is where I'm at with that too, because it's just, it needs a little bit more oomph to make it a little bit more cool. Like, and I would say, if anything, it's probably limited by the tech of the time to give it something that's more, maybe stands out visually or something like that.
Yeah, I agree. I think if this game were remastered, the bunker buster could potentially get bumped up to S tier if they had some fun with it, but kept all the effectiveness and all the other traits. So.
Yeah. Now, on Mercs 2 PS2, I would put that cool factor as a little bit higher because you can get some pretty trippy space sounds depending on when you get into a helicopter after using it.
Nice. Okay, moving on. Carpet bomb. Satellite coordinates required. Okay. Normally these subtitles are like kind of cheeky, you know? They're like, oh, our forecast clear skies ahead, or laser guided mega bomb, you know? Oh no, some of these. So it seems like a mix. So some of them they bothered to put subtext, and some of them they just said like how it's used. So they're like, this one uses a satellite, this one uses a laser. So this one they didn't bother to put subtext. This is probably a lot of people's favorite airstrike in the game though. So I'm kind of surprised that they didn't put subtext for this one.
Yeah, it's probably just they had a writer just kind of writing these out, and like he got halfway down the list and was just out of ideas.
Or he like went home for the day and forgot to pick it up the next day.
Yeah, and they're like, oh god, yeah. A tester's like, half of these are blank. What are we doing here?
All right, facing an army, our dedicated technicians can reroute an allied bomber to your target location and deliver up to 12 tons of high explosives. Again, very funny wording, because does that mean that the allied bomber was going somewhere and like that intended target just never got hit and they instead got like diverted to potentially like civilian targets? Like it's really funny how they like try to like explain how these get used.
Mm-hmm. It's like really cool flavor text, but then two, it's also entertaining to think about the larger scale ramifications of the mafia meddling in these other countries' business.
Exactly. Yeah. All right, so this is our first satellite guided airstrike, and there is a usefulness of satellite strikes in that you can hide or be hidden or have not even alerted the enemy, and then like wreak havoc. Which on this one is like this bomb is. I mean, this thing does destruction on such a wide range. Like this might hit me. Let's see. Okay, not quite. I almost want to get into a helicopter in order to like see the damage. I'm gonna call in a helicopter. And then I'll call in another one, and we'll watch the explosion from the sky.
What is that plane? Is that like a B-52 or something?
I think so.
Or yeah, I mean that would make sense to me.
Yeah, this was before they recorded their hit single, Love Shack.
There you go. Yep. They were a paramilitary organization, and they're like, you know what? We've got kind of a good sound when we're on our off time. Let's just make this a band.
What's nice about the satellite, too, is that you can be taking damage, and unlike the laser strike, which will get, like, just, like, thrown all over the place, you can still use the satellite, which doesn't really make sense, but that's what they decided to do, so...
Yeah.
I'm
yeah,
very,
you
very
think, like,
annoyed.
getting shot would, like, make you, like, leave the targeting or something like that?
Very annoyed that I lost my helicopter for that demonstration, but... I think you guys get the idea. This thing, like, it's blowing up buildings all the way over there, which is pretty crazy. Let me see if I can get this helicopter. And then I'll kind of, like, at least go up in the air to... Oh, damn. Sometimes enemies in this game, sometimes it's just annoying, you know? It's like I just want to, like, enter... I want to, like, enter dev mode, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, just to not have to worry about none of this nonsense.
So I just want to, basically what I want to do is get up in the air and we can just kind of look at the blackened area that the bomb created. Or the bombs, the many bombs.
Yeah.
So it started here. Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, you could maybe clear something up. Is the way that it targets, is it random, or is it like based on starting from your position going towards where you targeted? Do you know that?
That's a good question. I think it doesn't matter. Well, I don't know. It's a good question. So let's try to launch it behind me here, but I'm gonna do this. I think it's which way you're facing. So I think you pick the center of the target, and then whatever way your character is facing, that's where it'll fly in from.
Roger, target received.
So the bomb will probably come. Oh, let's see.
Bombs free.
Oh no, it does it from. So you pick the center, but then it does it like from where you're standing outward.
Waiting to see it catch up on.
Oh my god! I mean, look at that range. That is insane. So anyway, I think that's enough. Carpet bombing. So fun factor. I'd say this is an S tier from fun factor. It is one of the most satisfying things to do in this game on a casual playthrough, to just like level an entire city with one airstrike. It definitely feels like a cheat code, but in the best possible way. Cool factor, I'd say, is also up there. Like, again, I'm in awe at the destruction I'm causing, right? And the way it delivers the bombs. There are so many little explosions. It's not like they just dropped like 8 bombs to like make this row of explosives. Like the game actually went through the effort of like having a bunch of individual things hitting the ground, which is awesome. So I'd say cool factor is like probably A or B tier.
Yeah, I would put it at A.
Effectiveness, it is extremely effective, assuming you are targeting one group. Assuming it's not a like heterogeneous mix of targets in the area you're going for, because it's certainly not a discerning target.
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's see if it'll blow up the Allied HQ. That'll actually, I think, determine the effectiveness for me by quite a bit. Let's see how powerful it actually is.
And then I think the only thing besides what we're testing with the Allied headquarters that detracts from the usefulness for me is the fact that you can't change the flight direction from where they're coming from. I mean, you can, but it's not something that you would like, because it's based on your position.
Ugh, this is so annoying.
Like, I think it'd be, because, you know, you're not always going to be facing exactly, like, the perfect right angle, so it'd be nice to be able to, like, call the origin and choose the flight direction,
Actually, you know,
but
screw this.
I get why they didn't do that.
I'm just going to load a different game. I do not feel like driving away from the Allied HQ in order to, like, test this. Yeah, I mean, I would say the counter to that, though, is, like, 9 times out of 10, you would want it to bomb in the order, like where you're standing relative to the target, you'd want it to start closest to you and then move outward. Like, I don't think it really makes that much of a difference. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, in general use, I would say yes. I think the one place where I think it would make sense is that the contract where you're supposed to like carpet bomb a series of 3 planes
Yeah.
in the China airfield, I believe.
Why would it matter where the bomb starts, I guess?
Like I'm just thinking like if you are not aligned with it from like behind it, which I think generally you are, but like if you came into it from the wrong side, you could carpet bomb and only hit like 2 planes, just depending on your position.
Yeah, so basically what you're saying is that the bombing, what's the word? Like the area of effect. There we go. The area of effect is rectangular. It's not a square. So like if you're coming in from the left side of a target that is going the other direction, then yeah, you could potentially miss.
Yeah, it's not enough that I would actually lower the score at all. It's just that if I could change one thing about it, it would be that.
I think that's actually a pretty good point, though. I mean, like, if it worked like a supply drop, they would have it come in the angle the player is facing when they open the satellite, as opposed to the position the player is standing, and that would fix that problem. So, anyway, I would say that was extremely effective. It blew up a building that typically requires a bunker buster to destroy. So that's like S tier effectiveness. So we're at like S tier cool, A tier fun, S tier effective, and cost. Cost is probably like B tier. It's $500,000. You are getting a lot for that money though. I'm feeling S tier on this one. I think this is an S tier airstrike.
I would call it S tier.
Yeah.
Because I would put like the cost at actually probably an A over a B, because it is expensive, but you can wreck an entire city block like nothing.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and really something that I noticed is it just makes the artillery strikes even worse, because like you'd think, oh, okay, maybe they just have technical limitations, but that carpet bomb really proves that like, you know, they drop just row after row after row of explosions, and like the game doesn't slow down or anything really, unless it's in like a really highly populated area.
Yep.
So the fact that the artillery strikes do so little is kind of a shame.
That's so
Can
true.
we put those lower than F?
Yeah, no, that's so true. So, yeah, no. First S tier airstrike is the carpet bomb. It is everyone's favorite for a good reason. It is definitely one of the best airstrikes in the game from a holistic viewpoint. All right.
Definitely.
Next one, the cluster bomb. We go from one of the best in the game to one of the worst in the game. To be honest, I don't even remember what the cluster bomb does. A horde of soldiers facing you down? Excellent for use against enemy personnel and light vehicles. Very cost effective. Okay, well, I'll be the judge of that. $65,000. Let's see. This one does have, I think, a fairly unique, like... I'm actually going to go into the middle of the city because there's more, like, civilians and stuff over there. There's not really that many people, like, standing where I am right now.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to be testing something that's specifically talking about enemy personnel and vehicles, you gotta be where those are, even if they are civilians.
Well, actually, you know where we could go is, I wonder if I should go to the Mafia HQ. I think I'll go to the Mafia HQ.
Oh, that's a good mix of vehicles, people, and buildings.
Yeah, exactly.
You're back in the South Korean
Okay, I'm gonna get a beverage quick while you head over that way.
No, I'm already there, but... Okay. So, there should be vehicles driving around this road. There's usually a lot of vehicles driving around this road, actually. I don't know where they all are. Here comes one. Sometimes the game map is just so dead.
Who has a game map?
Alright, here we go. We got 2 vehicles. We got an HQ guard. No, come back. That's alright.
Clear the area. I'm coming in.
Um.
It's flying in now for me.
Where's a medic when you need one?
I think I need to give myself infinite health. I don't know. Let's see. I'll see if I can get like more Jajus in a condensed area. Yeah, like this. This is somewhat promising.
Clear the area. I'm coming in.
It's interesting how they all know. All the vehicles are actually driving away from... Whoa, what the hell? Dude, the flight path of that helicopter was ludicrous. Was that a helicopter too? I thought it was a bomber. I want to see that again.
See.
Clear the area. I'm coming in.
It was a bomber.
Oh, it was a bomber.
Yeah, it just kind of swung around in a circle.
Man, this is okay, this has a critical flaw that I feel like the devs did not take into account.
The fact that it sucks.
What? It does suck. So, all right. So, cool factor on this. It's I'd say like C tier. It's kind of cool how it does like release this like hail of. It's like a scatter. It's like a shower. It's like a shower of bombs, which is like that's kind of unique. So cool. You know, or sorry, did I say cool factor? Yeah, that's cool factor. But I skipped fun factor. Fun factor is like D. Like it does. It's pretty underwhelming when you call it in. It's kind of just like, oh, is that it? So like we're around like a D or a C right now. Effectiveness is D. It's not as bad as the artillery, but like effectiveness is severely hindered by the fact that the vehicles somehow know that an airstrike is coming in and they all scatter. They like try to get away from where the area of effect is, which completely like hinders the usefulness of the airstrike. The Jaju and the like Humvee that was in the target region, like both did not get destroyed by the artillery, by the strike, because they drove away from it. So we're like squarely on D right now, and then like cost is 65,000 is like, you know, compared to the surgical strike, it's not a good value, but like it's not an expensive airstrike, so I'm feeling like a D on this.
Yeah, I think that's true. I think like the usefulness, the only reason for me it's that it's not like on par as an F tier with like the artillery strike is it's got about the same amount of explosions, but they all happen relatively quickly at the same time. So it's like it's hard. I think it's if they didn't like drive away, it'd be hard for them to avoid. So it might be a little bit more useful against like soldiers.
Yeah, but the problem is in this game, typically, like we're talking casual play, there aren't that many scenarios where you're like facing a horde of soldiers, which is literally what it's described as. It's like, oh, facing a horde of soldiers, use this. Like, when are there that many ground troops that you would want to use this instead of just like your rifle?
Yeah, I mean that's true. Even if you have even if you somehow manage to spawn in 30 people, like just using your rifle is going to get the job done probably in about the same amount of time it takes to order in the strike.
Right. And you could even order the other airstrikes to take out soldiers and also get vehicles and buildings at the same time. Like you mentioned earlier, the bunker buster bomb. You can destroy the heck out of an outpost. You could blow up everything at it, including the soldiers. So.
Yeah, like any targeted airstrike that's like specifically laser targeted besides the cluster bomb would handle a horde of soldiers better than the cluster bomb does.
Oh, the cluster bomb's a satellite strike, but yeah.
Oh, well, I mean that's targeted in a way as well. Like I would also include satellite targeting. I just not the artillery.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, so cruise missile is next. Oh, I will say though, there were multiple people doing the woohoo in the chat, and yes, the cool factor. I didn't mention it, but I did factor that into the cool factor. It is, or maybe you could say that's part of the fun factor, but like, yeah, I think like the having that voice actor, like, I'd say it's probably fun factor. It increases fun factor, but not by enough to get it out of D tier. So.
Yeah. And obviously I can't hear the game because I'm in the call, and it would be very confusing if I was hearing the stream. Does the carpet bomb have any kind of unique dialogue?
No, he just says clear the area. I'm coming in.
Okay. See now, if you attached the weehoo to the carpet bomb, that put it like above S.
Yeah, I don't think he said woohoo when he's... it would be a little dark for the carpet bomber to say woohoo. All right, cruise missile strike. The high-tech solution to any problem. Show your enemies that you mean business by sending a sub-launched cruise missile their way. This is what Matthias is referring to when he talks about one of those spookies the South Koreans been using, I believe, right? Or was he talking?
This is the Tomahawk.
Oh, the Tomahawk. That's right. Yeah, the Tomahawk. So
yeah, the spooky, I think, is a helicopter.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So in honor of that, we will call this in as Matthias, since he was specifically excited about this.
Yeah, I remember back when there was some discussion while you were streaming that about like, oh, what is he talking like? Oh, it's funny that he's looking to get like a tomahawk, like a throwing axe. And I was just like, isn't he talking about a cruise missile? And
Yes.
I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that was way back in the day.
All right. So we will call this in on the Mafia HQ. I believe this can destroy hardened targets, so we'll try that as well. But I just happened to spawn here, so. No dialogue whatsoever, which I guess makes sense if it's like coming from a sub.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Big boy. It didn't actually really hit my target. Oh, that does the same thing as the Bunker Buster. So that actually kind of lowers the cool factor of the Bunker Buster a little bit. Or yeah. I do like that. Is that unique to the cruise missile? That little mushroom. Let's call in a Bunker Buster and see if it makes the same kind of like mushroom.
Roger, target received.
I don't think it does.
Bomb screen.
Yeah. You forgot you made the Mafia cranky with you by blowing up their headquarters.
Okay, so it is the exact same explosion animation as the Bunker Buster. For what that's worth. I believe it is pretty much just the same as the Bunker Buster, but satellite guided.
Yeah, it really seems to be.
Let's go back to a hardened structure, and we'll try to use it on. We'll try to use it on the allied base here. I wonder if this missile has collision. Like, I wonder if you called this from the wrong... You see that come in there? Like, I wonder if that hit a mountain. If it would get interrupted.
It's an interesting question.
Let me call it in. Let me call it in, like, right here. Oh, God. This is going to be kind of annoying. Alright. Let's see if this makes it over this mountain here. Or I should say makes it through this mountain. Yeah, it does. It does not have collision.
That would be interesting.
Yeah. Alright. So, I'm going to say fun factor on this is it's a little bit higher than the Bunker Buster because you use a satellite, which I think is just a little more fun than using the laser, but not by much.
Yeah.
I'd say this is still... I don't know what I put the fun factor on the Bunker Buster, but it's probably like B or B-ish tier on fun factor.
Mm-hmm.
Cool factor, it's basically the same as the Bunker Buster. So, again, like, maybe C tier on cool factor.
I like the kind of the distinct. I don't know why, but I've always enjoyed like I'd go and watch like the videos of like cruise missiles being launched and stuff, and I like the unique. I think it's unique, at least in this game, of how it appears when it is coming in the target. It's kind of got like a low arc, which is why you were thinking, oh, does it have collision? Can it hit something? I think it has a unique, interesting launch.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Yeah, I'm feeling so on the cool and fun. I'm in B, and then for effectiveness, it's very effective. It's as effective as it's the same as the Bunker Buster. It seems like I think it creates the exact same explosion.
Yeah, it seems to be.
Which I never knew that actually. I never really realized that the cruise missile was a satellite alternative to the Bunker Buster. But So it's like, I'd probably say it's like S tier for effectiveness. And in fact, because it's satellite guided, it's a little bit less effective because it can't be called in from as much of a distance.
But alternatively, it can be called in from cover.
Exactly, right. So, so yeah, it's like still, it's like S or A tier for effectiveness. Cost, it's a little bit more expensive than a bunker buster. I think it's 50 grand more. Oh no, it's 50 grand less. So I'd say this is also an A tier. I'd say this, I don't know. I'd say this goes right below bunker buster.
Yeah, that's where I'd put it, because bunker buster just kind of gets like a... Because it's so unique and especially how it's framed within the story. Like, there's a couple of times where they're like, you need a bunker buster, like for the Ace of Clubs and stuff. I think that gives it the edge.
And I think the name bunker buster is cooler.
I mean, that's also cool, yeah.
The main reason I'm putting bunker buster ahead though is not because of like coolness or even like obviously for price it costs more. The reason is that the laser guided really does make it. It gives it the option, like in the speedrun, I know this is not a speedrunning video, but like there's a part where I blow up the Chinese bridge and I can only do that with a bunker buster. If I use the cruise missile, I have to spend an extra like 30 seconds to get closer to the bridge. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's true. It gives you that distance is what really helps.
Also, even though you can like be in cover to call it in, it takes so long to like drag the satellite over your intended vector.
That's true.
So, like, it's definitely, like, quicker to use the bunker buster.
Yeah, it's slower in two ways compared to a laser-guided item.
Yeah, exactly. Wait, cruise missile can be called when jammers are active? That's not...
I think that's just Mercs 2 Next Gen.
Yeah.
I don't think that's this engine.
In this game, you cannot call in anything from the support menu when your signal's being jammed. That would be a really cool distinguishing factor, but, yeah, not in this game. Okay. Let's see what's next. Fuel air bomb.
The Fab.
Another favorite of many people. All right, fuel air bomb. This economical alternative to a nuke. Okay, best description of any airstrike in the game. Economical alternative to a nuke. Got it. The fuel air canister disperses a fine cloud of volatile fuel over a wide area that, when ignited, produces a massive shockwave. Pretty good description.
Yeah, it's very descriptive.
So I think the only question is, can this bad boy destroy the Allied HQ? I love that it is one of the only airstrikes that has a different faction's pilot, like, in the voiceover. Ooh, yeah, that's some weak sauce right there. Can it destroy it at all? Let's see if I call in 2. Is this what fuel air bombs are for? Alright, we'll try it one more time and then I'll go into the city and try to use it on like some buildings and stuff. And just some general like spread out targets. Did that miss? Wait, he missed. What? How? How do you miss with a satellite? I thought that was only something that could happen with laser guided airstrikes in this game.
Let's see when it comes in. Let's see.
I wonder if it's because did I despawn it by looking in the opposite direction? I wonder. I doubt it. Wait, why can't I get in this? Oh, there's someone. Oh, someone was in the driver's seat or the gunner's seat. It's really, really awesome, but lame at the same time. That's a pretty good description, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty accurate. It would be great if it worked well, but because it's got a lot of other good factors to it, but it just isn't that effective in what it does.
Yeah, so that right there, that killed a few civilians in the area, but it didn't actually blow up the surrounding buildings. It only got one of them, weirdly, even though all these buildings have the same HP. Oh, I guess it blew up two buildings. It blew up these leftmost buildings, but it was like so close to the right ones, and it didn't get them for some reason.
Well, I didn't notice. I didn't know that the billboards just had like their own collision. I've never seen one get sucked in like by a fuel air bomb like that. I didn't know it could just get moved around.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Let's see if I can move this one around. Yeah. So that one, that just like teetered. I keep holding down left trigger to zoom in because I was playing Halo for so long.
Yeah.
I think I knew that, but I don't know if somebody asked me that, if I would like know the answer. But I've definitely like seen that as a thing. Okay, so we have to do one more thing though before we're finished talking about this. I think you guys might know what I'm talking about.
Oh, I think I know it's coming.
Okay, I'm on my way.
Unfortunately, this was obsoleted by the surgical strike.
Special delivery.
I don't actually know the strat, I guess. Like, I think I think you need to call it in like relatively far away. Like the bigger, it's kind of like when you have like two things that have like a voltage attached to each other. You create a greater force by like the farther those are apart. It's kind of like how this works.
Sure.
So, I've broken the sound in the game, unfortunately, but yeah, that is one of the fun aspects of the fuel air bomb, is sucking in a baggage carrier and flinging it across the map. Okay.
Yeah, but even beyond that, there's a lot of like fun little graphical and like camera things you can do with this one that you can't do with the surgical strike. Like you can kind of break the skybox a little bit temporarily, that I don't think you can do with the surgical strike. And you can break the camera, like if you're getting into the baggage carrier as it starts to flip. So it's got some extra little graphical stuff that's really cool.
Yeah, I didn't even know if I knew that. Scarecrow, I don't know what you're talking about ban. Oh, I see. It's not allowed in the AN because thermobaric weapons are banned. Interesting. I mean, I imagine the reason it's banned is because it probably catches people on fire. Like that. That's probably the reason it's banned. Like I think a lot of like phosphorus weapons are banned for the same reason, where like it's like sticky flame. It's essentially viewed as like a torture device. So
yeah, can it like suck the air out of people's lungs and stuff like that too, because it just pulls in all the oxygen.
Yeah, that makes sense. So okay, so fun factor S tier. This is definitely one of the most fun airstrikes in the game. Cool factor is also S tier.
Yes,
the S tiers on both those. Effectiveness. I guess I just don't. It's like decently effective at destroying unarmored targets, but
so is everything.
But so is everything. Yeah, I'm gonna say like C or D tier on effectiveness, and then for cost, it's F tier. This is one of the most expensive airstrikes in the game. It's $450,000. I think the only one that's more expensive is the carpet bomb. Yeah, so the carpet bomb is the only one that's more expensive, and the carpet bomb would wipe the floor with this airstrike. So,
yeah, I would put it in B finally because it does get the two S's.
Exactly, I'm feeling a B on this, which is where I put it, but that was just a place for me to set it down. I wasn't actually like decided, but yeah, I'm feeling a B on the fuel air bomb. It is very fun and very cool, but honestly, just not very practical.
Yeah, if it was as effective as it is in real life, it would easily be A or S.
Okay, gunship support. So now we've got 3 airstrikes that are basically the same thing, just different degrees of it. I will go ahead and head back to a populated area for this to demonstrate this one. Let's go to. I guess we could go to the Mafia HQ.
threat anymore.
Oh, and I also really like that the pilot is one of the. I think it's the only airstrike that has a unless you order support from a faction during a contract. This is the only airstrike where it doesn't have like an allied voice actor or like a mafia voice actor. So let's see here. Right now, do I have all the air? Do I have everything I need? I think I have everything I need. All right, gunship support. Let's read the description here. Laser targeting required. Point and shoot devastation. Count on the Americans to deliver a hail of bullets with pinpoint precision. Note, we are not responsible for loss of gunship to anti-air/SAM attacks. Okay, interesting. So I guess they charge you if this thing gets blown up while it's in the vicinity, which kind of makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, that's typical for the other support things as well.
Right. Okay. So we're on top of a building. We got a good vantage point here. Let's go ahead and call this in. Let's count how long I can use this for.
This is King 6.
King 6. Hell yeah, everyone loves King 6. So I'm at 50 seconds calling that in. Did it do anything? Oh, here we go. Okay. So that started launching at like around the minute mark.
This is King 6. Guns are dry. Good luck.
Okay, so that lasted for... Wait, did that last for a minute or did that last for 10 seconds? Probably like 10 seconds, right? That did not even blow up. Are you still there, Prina?
Oh, I'm still here.
Okay. That did
Yeah,
not
it's fine.
even...
It was about 10 seconds.
Yeah, that did not even blow up my intended target, which is an unarmored building, so not a great start.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we'll use the next one. And then I'll just rank all of them in a group once I'm done using all of them.
Yeah, I mean, these are going to be like the artillery. They're just going to be grouped together.
This is King 6. We're moving to attack position.
Alright, so that was like 20 seconds, so I'm guessing the last one will be 30 seconds. And I acknowledge that the intended use of this is not to blow up buildings, so this is not necessarily the greatest litmus test for how like good this is. I should probably go to like a battle area, which I could do that after this, but let's see. I'm curious if the highest level is capable of blowing up a hardened structure like the Mafia. Well, the Mafia HQ is not technically a hardened structure, but it does have like a ton of hit points, so it's actually perfect for this test.
This is King 6. We're moving to attack position.
Yeah, because isn't hardened technically like a separate classification where your conventional airstrikes just won't work on it?
Yeah, so like the Allied HQ is a hardened structure, for example.
Yeah.
At least I think it is. Wow, this is I haven't actually been timing this. I feel like that went longer than 30 seconds. But I don't. Well, I can judge it later. That did actually blow up the target impressively. Yeah, I don't know. It's not too bad. Let me go to an area. Let me think of a place where I could use this to actually like kill enemies. I could probably just fly there with this instead of like loading a game or whatever.
Yeah, I was surprised that it actually took it down.
Yeah, no, that was pretty good. Yeah, no, exactly, Wrench. Yeah, it's not really intended for buildings. I'm gonna see if I can find some like an area with where am I at with bounties? Do I have any collected? No. So I could go to the Ace, or not the Ace but I could go to the Heart that's over by the village over here-ish. Am I going the right way? Where am I going? No.
It looks like that one goes for a solid 60 seconds.
Wow, yeah, so it's weird. They went from like 10 seconds to 20 seconds all the way up to like a minute with that final level, which is like kind of interesting. Let's see what I can do from a good vantage point on these enemies. Like if I'm up here, maybe I can kill everyone in the area with that final round. Or with that final level, I mean.
Yeah, and I'm also curious with what Scarecrow said is I wonder if like the gunship actually will get shot down if you bring it to a place that's got SAMs.
Oh yeah, I could try that. That's a good idea.
Yeah, I don't see why it wouldn't. I mean, it is just a physical helicopter, so...
So like they don't even know I'm here, which is kind of cool.
This is not the way you want to wake up in the morning.
This is really doing... This is doing a really good job. This might be one of the most underrated airstrikes in the game. Because I have destroyed multiple targets that would normally take multiple airstrikes to get to. And I've done it with enough precision that, like, I could have done this without... I bet I could have done this without killing the 5 of Hearts.
Yeah, I mean... It, like, as long as they don't, like, all clump up near him, it'd be pretty easy to single out everything around him without hitting him.
Yeah, right. Let's go for a target that actually has some SAMs around it, and we'll see if we can, let's see if we can get it purposely shot down by a SAM, but then secondly, we'll see if we can, like, use it to destroy the SAMs before it gets blown up. Yeah, Scarecrow, that wouldn't be like a bad way, like a bad kind of like finishing move, basically, where like at the very end it fires like one big bomb. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, that would have been a nice little cherry on top of this.
Alright, so this area... Oh. Ah, dang it. I loaded a save that has these people cleared out already. You know, I actually don't know if I have any spades... people, like, I don't think there's a way for me to get to spades with any enemies alive. Guess I'll just have to play through the whole game again.
Yeah, I was gonna say, didn't you load a save earlier that had, like, you went over by, when you were doing the test for the air superiority, wasn't there a place over there with a bunch of SAMs?
Yeah, there is, but I want to test with an HVT in the area to see if I can, like, strategically, like, not kill the HVT.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah, which is, like, not super necessary, but I'm already kind of committed to that, so...
Yeah, I mean, we gotta test usefulness, so it's an important test.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
I think what we could do... I'm trying to think if there's...
Special delivery.
Oh, you know what would be a good test, actually, is this first Mafia contract in the neighborhood? Because they have the tow missile SAM trucks over there. But, nah, let's just go over to the... I'm confident that I could avoid killing an HVT if I wanted to. Let's instead test to see how it does with SAMs. The 3... Wait a minute, doesn't the 3... Is the 3 of Spades the one that's on the plateau that's surrounded by SAMs? I think she might be.
That sounds right.
Yeah, I think that actually is. Sorry, I know this is like super slow, but... Okay, so yeah, so let's go do that then. That's actually a perfect test. Because it's a very narrow area. Like, that plateau is so small. Like, if I'm going to have collateral damage, unintended, it'll be there. It's just that the spade number cards are stronger than the heart number cards, so that would be like the only not great aspect of this test.
Yeah.
I wish there was a better way. Again, I wish there was just like dev mode. I wish I could have just like 100 save files like in various areas of the map and just flip between them easily, but as it stands, I'm very limited on my options here.
Yeah, sounds like what you need is you need to get a decent Windows computer and load up an emulator.
Yeah, I mean...
it definitely has helped. Like testing the couple of new skips and time saves that we found in Mercs 2 PS2 definitely helps that I have save states at the beginning of every contract in the game.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, it's at this point, I don't know. Maybe if I find myself in need of $1,000 to blow. It's kind of an ironic state. I was kind of saying that like tongue in cheek, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I get it. Snow, you can have 9 quick save ones, but then you can save states just like to your computer, just with whatever name you want. So you can have as many save states as your computer has storage.
So I just want to see if it'll get shot down first. It doesn't see... Oh, there it goes. I like how it's actually moving around on... You can see it on my radar. Like, wherever I point, it flies around quite a bit. I wish I could see it more.
Yeah, it is pretty high up.
It doesn't seem to have much trouble avoiding the enemies.
Yeah, but they are definitely targeting it. Yeah. Although I'm wondering, because it is a plane, maybe they just put that as flavor text, but they didn't actually give it collision, because none of the planes have collision.
It does not have collision. Holy shit. Did you see that missile go through it, and then it like didn't know what to do, and it circled back and went and hit this mountain? You haven't seen that yet, but... Wow, okay. That's amazing. Alright, let's see if we can kill everyone in this area without killing the HVT.
This is going to be exciting.
I'm not gonna lie, this is one of the most effective airstrikes in the game. Wow. Okay, well, in a surprising underdog turn of events, we have some interesting tier listing to do. So I'd say Gunship Support 1, and I'm going to do cool and fun factor on these as kind of a unit because they're pretty much the same. The fun factor is S tier. I think the fact that you get to point and shoot the airstrike actively as though it's like a gun you're holding, it's like the only interactive airstrike in the game. And I think that gets an S tier for me.
Yeah, the only one I would rank lower on that is just the first one. I would put it down to A, just because you get such little time with it.
Yes, and that was exactly, that's exactly what I was going to say next. And this is probably the only one where that one is influenced, versus the others, where like, it's so short that it's not that fun. So this is maybe like A on fun factor. Cool factor, I would say it is also an A or an S, because of the fact that it's unique in that sense that you point and shoot, but also it introduces a character. It is the only airstrike in the game that introduces a character. We all love King 6. We're all King 6 stands. So I'd say it's like a pretty cool airstrike. I also like the fact that it is physically there. Like you can look and see the airstrike. Oh, speaking of which, let me show you a fun little thing.
This is King 6. This is King 6. This is King...
Oops.
This is King 6. This is King... This is King 6. This is King 6. This is King 6.
Oh yeah, you are on the wrong screen.
Oh, damn it.
If you're trying to show something off.
Oh, there we go. So I'm basically just pointing airstrikes at the ground, and you can just get a stream of King 6s flying over top, which is kind of cool.
This is King 6.
Oh yeah, that is neat.
This is King 6.
So it's kind of fun to do this, especially if you get it into an awkward enough position, because the planes don't have collision. You can actually like have the planes just flying through like a city. If you can get into a valley and call it kind of like up the hill, they'll just like fly through the city. So kind of a fun little thing. This is King 6.
Yeah.
I've been cloned. So yeah, I'm feeling like I'm feeling an A for this first one on fun. I'm feeling an A bordering S on cool. Effectiveness for the first one is like F. It's pretty bad. I'd say it's better than I think it's better than the cluster bomb though.
Yeah, I would put it at a D above the cluster bomb.
I think I'm gonna move cluster bomb to F tier for effectiveness. I mean, it's pretty pathetic.
It does not do a lot.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna put F tier. I'm gonna put cluster bomb as the best F tier airstrike in the game. Gunship support. So yeah, effectiveness is probably D tier. I'll leave cluster bomb at D tier. But all right. And then what's the last one? Cost of this. What is the cost actually? I don't know. Gunship support, 75 grand. It's not expensive, but it's not cheap either. I'd say this first gunship support is probably a sharing D tier with cluster bomb, honestly.
Yeah. It's too short.
It's too short.
And it's too expensive for what it is.
Agreed. It is better than the cluster bomb, but they both kind of suck. I don't know. I kind of want to put it into... I feel like I was a little too harsh on air superiority. I feel like gunship support should be in C and air superiority maybe should be in B. Because like air superiority, if you do need to take down like a Hind D and you don't have a Stinger missile, you kind of... It's really good to have air superiority. So I think I'm going to bump air superiority up to B. I think gunship's in C. And then, okay, moving on. Gunship level 2 is twice as expensive as the first one, and it lasts twice as long. Unfortunately, that is still not quite long enough for it to be super useful, but you could call in multiple like renditions of it. So I'm going to put Gunship Support 2 in B tier under Air Superiority. It's better than I thought, but no, it's going to be in C tier. It's going to be better than the first one, but still in C tier. It's basically the same as the first one. There's really no difference.
Yeah, I mean it's just a little bit of length for a little bit more cash.
Now it's twice as much length for twice as much cash, so it's essentially the identical product. It is the same.
Yeah, you're buying it twice.
In fact, it's worse. It's worse because you have more flexibility with the first one to decide exactly how much damage you want to do for the price you're paying.
That's true.
So, so those are both C tier. However, in a surprise turn of events, the tier 3 of it, which costs 2.5. No, 3 times. It costs 3 times as much as the cost. It's $225,000. But it doesn't last 3 times as long. It lasts 6 times as long. So now all of a sudden this has become a much better value, and it's actually really useful. Like, I'm thinking it's S tier fun. It's S tier cool. It's like A tier effectiveness, honestly, and it's. The value, it's expensive at $225,000, but yeah, the value is probably the worst part. I'd say like for the cost, it's probably like a C tier, but I'm feeling like A tier on it, honestly.
Oh yeah, I would definitely put this one as A tier. It was a sleeper hit.
Yeah, sleeper hit, A tier. I might even put it. I'm gonna put it above the cruise missile. I think if I were gonna if I had to pick 3 airstrikes, it would so far it'd be the carpet bomb, bunker buster, and gunship to like go with me into the game. So.
Those are your trapped on a desert island airstrikes.
Yeah, exactly. Which actually, and realistically, no, I'd probably take air superiority because of its effectiveness, but it's just not that fun. For like a casual playthrough, I could do without air superiority.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. Only got a couple left. Stealth fighter. Ooh, this is a fun one. And by fun, I mean not that interesting. It's not actually that fun.
Yeah, it certainly exists.
All right, stealth fighter. They'll never see it coming. Settle your disputes quickly and quietly with a well-placed smart bomb, courtesy of the Allied Air Force. Place an order and paint your target, and we'll take care of the rest. Okay. No typos so far. I know I mentioned that I thought there were typos in some of these, but I think these have all been, like, grammatically and everything. I think they've been correct from all angles.
Your SNS signal's being jammed.
So to be honest, I don't really remember the stealth aspect. There is some benefit of it being like a stealth attack. I don't
Your
remember
SNS
what that
signal's
is
being
though.
jammed.
I don't know. I can't think of what it would be off the top of my head. Oh yeah, switch screens.
Oh, sorry. Thanks, guys. Well, thanks, Prenup, too, honestly, because I'm not reading the damn chat.
Your SNS
All right, the
signal's
stupid
being
signal
jammed.
jammer. Let's see, where's the KIFE? Can I hit it from here? Oh, it's so close. I hate that you can't look totally down. Ugh. Oh, yeah. Oh, never mind. I was going to say, you know what I could use as an airstrike? There. Wrench, you'd say S tier for gunship support? I think... Nah.
I think he was saying air superiority S tier.
Oh, he'd say air superiority is S tier? Did you... Wrench, were you here, though, for all of the shortcomings of air superiority? It has a lot of flaws. The biggest problem is that it blows up your own helicopter. Like, that's... Or potentially helicopters that you want to man. Like, if there's no one in it, it blows those up. Which I think is dumb.
Yeah, it definitely could be a little bit more smart targeting. That's, like, its biggest drawback.
Bombs free.
That didn't even blow up the troop tunnel. Can this even blow up a tank? Wait, did he just fire? Did that guy just fire a SAM missile at me?
Target acquired.
They're evolving.
Oh, okay, he was saying S for gunship support.
I
3.
see.
Yep, they're starting to get smart. They're targeting you directly. They're like, wait a minute, why don't we just use this missile to target the person instead of just waiting for a helicopter?
Target acquired. Coming in now.
Yeah, I don't... Does anybody know
Bombs free.
what the point of the stealth missile strike? Maybe, like, if you're in one of the few missions that has stealth bonuses,
Target acquired.
like, maybe it, avoids
Like,
detection?
Bombs free.
that could be it, but how do you unlock it again?
I believe you unlock it from doing one of those stealth missions.
Yeah, because it's not the first one, and there's only a couple of them, so it's like, by the time you get it, you don't need it.
This is probably going to hit the trees because the hitboxes for trees in this game are dumb.
Bombs free.
Let's see. Yeah, it hit the tree. I want to see if this can blow up one of those hardened tanks. Because the first tank I blew up was already damaged by my first shot.
Target acquired. Coming in now. Bombs free.
Okay, it is... It's, like, decently strong, but it can't even blow up a troop tunnel, which is, like, not great. So, I don't know. I'm going to say fun factor on this is, like, pretty low. Like, D tier? It's just not that interesting at all. There's nothing special about it. The stealth aspect is not realized in any meaningful way, as far as I can tell. I mean, I think the AA are not targeting the jet because it's too fast, right?
Yeah.
I got an idea. You know the South Korean mission where you blow up the Chinese buildings in the forest? Try using it to destroy those. I believe I have already tried that because I did a ton of experimentation on that, on like how to not realize like faction loss there for some weird off category I was doing. I don't even know what the category was. It might have been pacifist, but no, it couldn't have been pacifist. I don't know what it was, but I think I might have tried it and it didn't really do anything. But I could do that. But we'll save that for the end. If it realizes anything interesting, I'll edit it into the video. But I doubt that that's going to work. So, D tier and fun. Coolness factor, again, like, I don't know. The picture of the plane is kind of cool.
Yeah, it uses a cool plane, but that doesn't actually do anything within the game. It's you barely see it except on the when you're ordering it.
Exactly. Yeah. So I'm gonna say like D tier again on coolness, maybe C tier. Maybe just the fact that it has the word stealth makes it C tier. Effectiveness is not great. It's very like accurate, and you can use it to like blow up a tank and stuff, but it doesn't even like destroy the troop tunnels, which is like a little disappointing. The surgical strike definitely can destroy the troop tunnels even without a direct hit. So I'm gonna say like C tier for effectiveness because it's just not that powerful. It is extremely cheap though. It might be the cheapest airstrike in the game.
I think it is, yeah.
45 grand. Yeah, it's the cheapest airstrike in the game other than the fuel air bond's 450,000. Yeah. Wait, is the artillery strike more? Wow, the artillery strike costs more than the stealth air bomb. That's wild. So
yeah, that's ridiculous.
it is very cheap. So I'll give it, I guess, an S on cost. It's the cheapest in the game.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm feeling like it's like at the top. It's either at the top of C tier or the bottom of B tier. I'd say probably bottom of B tier because it is like, it's only bad relative to the surgical strike. It's still much better than like the gunship supports. Like the early gunship support, it costs like half of that, and it does a lot more damage. So
yeah, I mean, if you're targeting like a specific structure and you're launching a missile, basically anything will do better than that. But it's so cheap that that kind of makes up for it. So I think bottom of B tier works.
yeah, bottom of B tier. It works. It's like a functional airstrike. It's just very underwhelming. There's just nothing like super unique or special or interesting about it. So, all right, strategic missile strike. This was my favorite airstrike when I played the game casually. I love this thing. It probably is not actually going to get that good of a rating from like an objective standpoint, but I always loved like hiding around mountains and like calling in these strategic missile strikes to blow up. Oh, I'm not. The game's not on. Sorry. All right. I think that should be everything. All right. Strategic missile strike. A blast from the past. Developed during the Cold War, the FROG missile is capable of delivering devastation over a wide area. Sorry, nuclear warheads are not available at this time. Oh.
That was just foreshadowing for the sequel.
Right. So I don't think this will blow up a hardened structure. I'm like 99% sure that this will not blow up the Allied HQ. But I think it would be capable of blowing up the Mafia HQ. Oh! Oh! It is capable of blowing up the Allied HQ. Huh.
It's news.
Wait, now I'm like questioning whether the Allied HQ is even a hardened structure, to be honest.
You know what? I don't think it is because you can C4 it too.
You sure?
Like I think you need a couple C4 to do it.
Okay.
Like maybe even 3, but
Okay.
I'm pretty sure you can.
Gotcha. Well, that's unfortunate because that means that my test of the cruise missile. What will be a hardened structure? I guess the bridge to Dangdong. I guess we'll drive over there.
Yeah, I mean that'd be the only one without getting into like an ace contract that I can think of.
Right. I mean, some of the troop tunnels definitely are, but I don't know off the top of my head. Or not the troop tunnels. Some of the like tank tunnels are, but I don't know which ones off the top of my head.
Okay, and you might know this, just it might remind you, is the stealth fighter attack, is that unlocked by completing a hot time in Nampo? Which is the first Diamonds contract for South Korea?
I don't think
Okay,
so.
because that's what it says on the wiki, so if that's wrong, then somebody's got to go in and edit that.
Well, it's
But
not, it's not that simple. So all of the factions have different like systems for unlocking their airstrikes. So like some of them are not even tied to contracts.
That is true. That's a good point.
So yeah, I mean that definitely needs overhauling, but it needs like actually oh man, the bridge is already destroyed in this playthrough.
Yeah, somebody's got to go in and actually dig through and figure out how it all works.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like a non-trivial amount of effort to like do that, and to be honest, it's for who cares, I guess.
Well, that's quite a harsh thing to say, considering we now have our own specific wiki editing page
Oh, I don't.
on
Oh,
our
I
Discord.
don't mean. I don't mean who cares about editing the wiki. I mean like, for the amount of work. There are other things put in the wiki before this. For the amount of effort it will
Oh,
take to put
it's
this.
definitely low priority.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I was not making a statement about the wiki as a whole.
Yeah, we gotta add all those pages about very specific random NPCs found in test maps and stuff. That's more important.
I don't know if you're being sarcastic, but honestly, yeah, I'd say that's more important and it's easier to do.
Oh, content is way more important.
Yeah. Because like the
'Cause-
order you unlock airstrikes is like marginally useful for certain speedrun category setups, and that's like it. Like.
Mhm.
You've convinced the South Koreans you're not a threat anymore.
All right, let's see if this can blow up the bridge. And then if this doesn't work, I will. Well, we know the cruise missile strike blows up the bridge because that's like part of a contract. So yeah, I guess we know the cruise missile strike destroys hardened targets. We don't actually need to test it. That is like, you're specifically told to do that in a contract. Okay, so that did not blow up the bridge. Let's try one more.
Just make sure that it just doesn't have just an insane amount of health, but isn't actually hardened.
Yeah, exactly. And I might even call in a surgical strike after that.
Roger, target received.
See if I can hit him at the same time.
Bombs free.
Okay, yeah, so that is definitely a hardened structure. So now we will be doubly sure, just for the record. Well, nah, I don't think I need to use a cruise missile strike. We know the cruise missile strike destroys hardened targets. So, okay. I do wonder though. So could you use the cruise missile strike on the tower in Dung Wang Bo's contract, the Ace of Clubs? I bet you could. I wonder what the game is.
That's a good question.
Yeah. Not for a different video, but yeah, good question nonetheless.
Yeah, maybe that'll be something that I'll look at, just because I think I actually have a save at that contract, so maybe it's something that I can go through and do in my spare time.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, at least just for informational purposes, but otherwise, I think a good thing for a stream or a video would be put together a bunch of like kind of like a Mythbusters type thing. Try and hunt down weird questions about the game and see if it works or not.
To answer your question... Oh, wait, that's not what I wanted. Sniper, it is the same in terms of the sprite they use, like the asset. But I don't actually think this bomb has any blast radius to it, whereas the portable air... Oh, yeah, it does. No, you're right. It is exactly the same. Yeah, never mind. Okay. So, yeah, so strategic airstrike. This is the same, as far as I know, as the portable airstrike. It is even the same, like, asset, like, when it comes to the ground, it's the same, like, physical thing.
Yeah, are you doing something in-game, or...?
Nah, I just wanted to... I was, but it wasn't that important. Basically, I just, like, confirmed that it has the blast radius, that the...
Gotcha.
So I'd say for fun factor, this is like decently fun. I always really enjoy, like, it was fun enough that when I played this game, it was my favorite. I liked hiding in like areas and using this to kind of like destroy my targets like strategically before moving into an area without being seen. So it's kind of like, what other satellite strikes are there? Like, it's like a baby carpet bomb, for example, or like a more accurate carpet bomb from that perspective. So I'd say it's like probably like B tier or A tier for fun factor. Like, I really liked using the satellites. I'd say maybe B tier. At cool factor, I'd say, well, maybe even A tier for fun factor, but cool factor is like not great. Like, they don't even have a line of dialogue for it. It doesn't create any fancy explosion. It doesn't have a huge blast radius. Like, it's pretty much a standard airstrike, if you will. So I'd say it's like D tier for fun, or sorry, for cool. Probably like D tier on cool factor, maybe C, D or C.
Go
ahead.
I was gonna say it lacks a lot of razzle dazzle that a lot of the other airstrikes have.
This is like honestly what I wish the stealth fighter attack was.
Yeah.
Like, I accept that there's no voice actor if you call it a stealth, fighter attack. So, But the stealth fighter attack, ironically, does have somebody who says, like, I'm coming in to help or whatever. So,
Yeah.
so yeah, C or D on, like, the coolness. Effectiveness is pretty high. Like, you can definitely get a lot done with this. Like I said, you can hide and take out most targets. You can't take out hardened targets, but you can take out, like, even the Allied HQ was blown up in one hit from this, which is, like, the vast majority of targets in the game have less health than the Allied HQ. So I'd say this is like an A in terms of effectiveness. And then a cost perspective. How much does this thing cost?
I think 75K.
Oh yeah, so it's like decent value. It's not cheap, but yeah, I'd say this is like, I don't know. I'm tempted to put this in A tier. I'm tempted to put this at the bottom of A tier, but I think it's just not like super fun or cool. I had fun with it, but
Yeah, just as somebody who never really used it, I would put it more top of B.
yeah,
Just because, and that might just be because I don't have that nostalgia factor going for me.
right.
But I mean, it's essentially the same thing.
I'd say though, from a standpoint of satellite, it is the best satellite guided airstrike in the game, which gives you a lot of flexibility. I think it's even.
That's true.
I think it's like maybe even better than the cruise missile strike. In that sense, because I don't know why you would use the cruise missile strike over the bunker buster. I can't envision the scenario. I know you mentioned one scenario, but I can't even remember what it was.
I think it was just being able to do it without having to be expose yourself.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah.
But actually, ironically, because of the limited distance of the satellite, that's actually usually the opposite of the case. Like, the big hardened target you're trying to destroy, you can usually see it from many vantage points. So, like...
Yeah, it's kind of situationally dependent. Like, if you're already in the area and you don't want to get to a safe distance and you can just take cover, then you would cruise missile. But if you're see it from a distance, then you know you can just bunker buster it and not have to worry about it.
I'm going to controversially place this above the cruise missile strike. I think it is more suited for more scenarios than the cruise missile strike, and more fun because it's cheaper. Like, you can call in 4 of these? 3 to... Oh, geez, math is hard. What's 350 divided by... Or what's 75 times 4, I guess would be the question. 500,000?
300,000.
Oh, 300,000? Oh, 300,000, yeah. So you could call in... Wow, why did I think it was 500,000? That's pathetic. So you could call in 4 of these and still have 50 grand left over compared to like a cruise missile strike.
True.
So I'm going to put this in A tier above cruise missile strike. Yeah, I really like this. It was always one of my favorites when I was a kid.
Okay, but because you said it was controversial, that decision, I better see some fighting about it in the Discord tomorrow.
Yes, I'm
Chatters,
sure there will be.
You better start a fight.
All right, we're moving on to one of the best of the best. It needs no introduction. The Surgical Strike. 2,000 pounds of laser-guided love. Enjoy the benefits of a cutting-edge air force for a fraction of the price. Our contacts will direct Our contacts will direct a bombing run on the target of your choosing. With all the sorties over North Korea, a single bomb won't be missed. That's funny. It's like it fell off a truck, is basically.
Yeah, right next to my new speakers.
This is the bread and butter of Mercenaries Airstrikes. It is a laser-guided $50,000 bomb that blows up almost anything you... It's actually technically 2 bombs, by the way. You can hit, with some weird trickery, you can hit 2 targets with this. So, like, if you call this in up here, and then you change your target, and then you are really quick on the draw here, you can get 1 target to hit there and 1 target to hit there. Okay, I almost got both those buildings. But this airstrike is just, yeah, I mean, it is the Mercenaries airstrike. I don't know if there's much else.
It's the first one you use, it's the first one you get, I think?
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
Yeah.
So, it is... As far as a fun factor, I think the fact that it is like the fact that I could do what I just did, where it's like a little bit better than the average laser strike, where like it does have 2 bombs, and you can get a little creative with that. But like for the most part, it's not that fun. I'd probably say C tier on like fun factor. Coolness factor is also like pretty low, like C or D. But in terms of effectiveness, it is S tier. And in terms of cost, it is also S tier. This is the best bang for your buck in the game in terms of an airstrike. So I'm going to say this is probably going to be like right under Bunker Buster in the A tier.
That's exactly where I was going to put it.
Yeah. So, like, it can't quite do everything the Bunker Buster can do. And, like, money in this game isn't hard to come by. So, like, even though the Bunker Buster is, like, way more expensive than the Surgical Strike, it's not that hard to get the money you need to buy one. So, yeah. So that's that.
Yeah.
It's weird, though. It's weird. I'm feeling weird about having Carpet Bomb in S tier, though, to be honest. Because it's so expensive, and I feel like the actual use cases of it are not as much as like the Bunker and the Surgical Strike.
That's a good point.
Because like if you're going after an HVT, the Carpet Bomb sucks, right?
Yeah, I mean, and really just when you're thinking about gameplay in general, there's not a ton of situations that call for a Carpet Bomb.
Yeah. I'm going to move Bunker up to S tier, Surgical Strike S tier. Carpet Bomb I think might still be S tier, but I think it's going to fall below those guys.
Yeah, I think something that makes the Surgical Strike stand out is it's so useful and it's so cheap that I think a lot of players, they might try out the other airstrikes a little bit, but then I think they'd often, at least I would just go back to the Surgical Strike because it gets the job done.
Yep.
It's right at the top of my list, and it's dirt cheap compared to a lot of the other things.
Yeah. Honestly, oh man. This is weird because I'm weighing fun factor and cool factor versus like effectiveness, and like the two best airstrikes in the game are not high in terms of fun or cool factor. Like, weirdly enough, Gunship Support 3... Gunship Support 3 might be the best airstrike in the game. Okay, well, hold on. Let's finish this up, and then I'll revisit this list. Let's do the final one, which is Tank Buster. I will have to go to some new area to test this out, because this is going to be like Air Superiority, where I don't know exactly like the coding logic for how they like target things with this, but... Alright. Clear out a whole roadway. Don't let a little thing like an armored tank column... Okay, I guess an armored tank column is just like a fleet of tanks.
Yeah,
okay.
It's how they organize tank battalions.
I see. Don't let a little thing like an armored tank column stand in your way. Rat out those North Koreans to Allied Air Command, and they'll take care of everything for you while leaving buildings and infantry alone. Cool. 250 grand. Not cheap. I'm gonna have to at least medivac, but I don't think this like does anything to friendly targets.
No, I think it's similar to the air superiority.
Yeah, and then like even if I turn the allies hostile, I'm guessing that doesn't. They're still not going to target allied vehicles.
No, I think it's probably going to behave similarly, where it would target like South Korea.
Yeah. But
not allied.
Yeah, that's probably correct. Let's go to the Mafia HQ to test this, though. This is a catch-22, I guess, because I need them to be not hostile with me to order the airstrike. But whatever, it's close enough. The vehicle is like red. If I can get, it'd be nice if I could get someone like shooting at me in the vehicle. Here, I'll pick up a gunner and then I'll like shoot at him so he's like firing at me, and then I'll see if I can get the tank buster to fire at it. Oh, what the hell? He didn't get into the gunner seat. Dude. Priorities. I guess he's like too cool for that because he's a capo.
There you go. Yeah, he's not going to be doing that. He's going to be chilling in the back.
This guy doesn't want to get in at all.
He might have just heard you talking what your plans were.
Right? What the hell? Alright, I guess I'll go over here. Actually, you know what I'll do? I'll just drive over to the South Korean HQ because I think that'll be a better test anyway, and I'll get someone in over there and like turn them hostile. Because then you have a combination of factors. You have a vehicle from a faction that's not hostile being used by a hostile faction.
Good point.
Which is something we haven't tested. gonna take me a little while to drive there though. But yeah, I mean, how are you feeling about like if I'm gonna rank the best airstrike in the game? I mean, I think there's an inherent fun factor to the airstrike just being good. Like the effectiveness does play into how fun it is to use, but
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the effectiveness bleeds into fun and cool.
yeah.
Because it's not cool or fun if it doesn't do anything useful.
Yeah, it's like the fuel air bomb. It's like it's cool the first time you use it, and then you never use it again.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like the carpet bomb, I think was a lot of people's favorites. Yeah, I'm really trying to get in the headspace of like a casual playthrough. What is the best airstrike? I think it's like it's gotta be the Bunker Buster. It's cool, it's fun, it's effective, and it's a fair price for what it is.
Yeah, I think I would put that one probably at the top of the S.
Are they already hostile to me? I guess they might already be hostile to me. Because I just killed a civilian and no one reacted. Yeah, they're already hostile. Okay, cool. Well, this is not going to test. Unfortunately, this is not going to test whether it's going to blow up the Mafia thing, but... Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Can I die in the satellite? Oh, I can't die in a satellite. Oh, yeah, I can.
Oh.
Oh, yeah, I can.
Oh.
Rip. Oh, I don't want to go all the way back over there.
Fall back! One of those civilian contractors.
Okay, I'm on my way.
Why can't I switch? Oh, wow. I don't remember any of the buttons in this game. Wrench, are you making fun of the fact that I said the driving in this game was bad? No, you're right, Sniper. Like the gunship support is really only useful if you have a vantage point, but like, man, is it good if you have a vantage point. Wait, all the stuff despawned. That sucks. Let's go to the like war zone that's over here because there's a bunch of. Oh, Wayne, I'm in Hearts, so this is like all very lousy testing environments. There's like not a bunch of active conflicts going on like there are in Spades. Let's call it in here first, just because, like, I haven't gotten to show it off at all.
It was the climax, the final airstrike, and then we spent 10 minutes dicking around flying back and forth.
I know, I want to be done with this. I think everyone pretty much knows how this works. Wait, what? That didn't do anything. Does this only go for tanks, or did I just, like, despawn it because I flew too far away?
I think it does just go for tanks, because, I mean, it is Tank Buster.
No, it goes... No, that's what I thought. It goes for any vehicles.
Oh, okay.
It'll even go for those Jeeps down the road if I get down there. Let's see if I can call it in from here.
That's the problem of me being 10 seconds behind with everybody else. The questions get answered long before I actually get to see it.
It's weird, though, that I, like, managed to... It missed. Like, it's weird that it missed.
That is strange.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think this has, like, virtually unlimited targets. Let's go to another, like, area that has, like, a little bit more to shoot at. So there's 4 targets here. I wonder if I could... Oh, here's a bunch. Here we go. This is, like, perfect testing area. I should probably not go down all the way down here, though.
Clear the area. I'm coming in.
It only went for a Jeep.
Wow. It really hated that Jeep in particular.
Wait, it went for the Chinese tank. Which I guess, okay, that lines up with air superiority, so I shouldn't be too surprised. But it did kill 4 tanks there, which is, like, pretty impressive. So yeah, I mean, this is definitely one of the... Well, so let's just start with... We'll go in order. Fun factor is honestly not bad. Like, it is pretty satisfying to see, like, so many targets, armored or otherwise, like even Jeeps, getting destroyed by one airstrike, and it's so precise too. So I'd say this is like a B tier in fun factor. I like using the satellite. It feels, you know, Saboteur-esque. Cool factor, yeah, I'd say it's like decently cool, like C or B. I mean, it's the only, unlike, it's like air superiority, but just like for ground vehicles, but it's unique in that sense. Like, it's the only thing that does what it does. Whereas, like, a lot of the other airstrikes kind of have variations on, like, what they do. So it's...
Yeah, and I think the way that it actually does it, like you said, kind of for the fun factor, I think it plays more into the cool factor, is it looks very stylish when it comes in.
Yeah, right. You see all the individual, like, AT missiles going out. So, like, that's cool. Effectiveness, it's usually extremely effective. Apparently it misses fairly often. I have a 50% hit rate in today's testing, but I've never like remembered it to be like to have a high chance of missing. I think that might just be weird bad luck.
Yeah, I mean, it does seem like just from a couple of shots, it seems very hit or miss, literally.
Yeah.
But that could just be some weirdness of those particular situations. Also, apologies if things got weird a little bit coming through from my thing. My cat climbed on my lap and got his foot tangled up in my headphone cord and got very upset about it.
Oh, I heard that. I thought that was a kid.
Yeah. No, he got...
Good job.
So effectiveness of this, like, I would say it's bordering on S tier, honestly. It's like very, very... It's very precise. It's like lots of times there are situations where there's a lot of armor, and if you don't, even if you have an AT missile, you usually don't have enough shots to like deal with all the armor. And this is like kind of the ace in the hole.
Yeah, you max out with the AT missile 4 shots.
Yeah, exactly. No, 3.
Oh, it is 3.
Yeah,
okay.
RPG gives you 4.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, like, this is like, I think S tier in terms of like it really is. It makes a lot of contracts, especially like the Ace of Spades, so much easier. This is really your get out of jail free card. When you're in a pinch, you use this. So S tier effectiveness, B tier on cool and fun, and then for cost, it's $250,000, which I'd say is like B or A tier in terms of like value for what you're getting. So I think this is easily an A tier airstrike. I'd probably say it's the top of A tier. I'd say it's better than Gunship Support 3.
Yeah, I would agree. Because it is basically, it's like hitting 5 or 6 tanks with a surgical strike, but all at once.
Exactly.
So it does get you a lot of advantages there.
Yeah.
But the surgical strike, it can target anything, so...
So yeah, wow, this has been a really long segment, but this is the tier list. I feel pretty. I'm gonna run through these and I'll see if I want to change any around. But I feel pretty good about this ordering, honestly. So Bunker Buster's the best in the game. It is mostly carried by its effectiveness, but it does have some like cool and fun elements which get it to be what I think is the best airstrike in the game. If you had to have one, you would take the Bunker Buster for a casual playthrough. Next up, I would say, would be the Surgical Strike. Even though the Carpet Bomb is way more cool and way more fun than the Surgical Strike, the Surgical Strike just has so many more... Oh, you know what we should test? Let's test the Carpet Bomb on the bridge to Dang Dong, if it's still there.
Good idea.
Because I don't think it's capable of blowing up the bridge to Dang Dong, but we can make sure once and for all.
Oh, switch your screen.
Oh, right. Good call. Oh, can I not land on... I thought I can... There we go. Oh, wow. Let's see if I can balance this perfectly. Well, even if I do, I'm just going to fall off the bridge when I get out, so it's kind of pointless. Yeah, I'll just land. I don't know why I'm trying so hard to do this. I guess I need some money. Actually, I want to stand right. Well, it's all right. I was gonna say I should stand right in the middle of the bridge, but I don't think it's gonna make that big of a difference.
Roger, target received.
So this will come in a little bit diagonal. I think it'll miss a little bit at the start and miss a little bit at the end, but. Okay, so it cannot destroy a hardened target. So that was something in the consideration, I think, for like why it was rated as the best. Like, if you have to pick 2 airstrikes between 2, and neither of them can destroy hardened targets, I think the surgical strike is what you would pick over the carpet bomb, despite how cool and fun the carpet bomb is.
Yeah, I think the precision that it gives you, especially considering in the context of the game and what you come up against it, the surgical strike just for the cost, and it gets the job done.
Yeah. So, and then we move on to Tank Buster. Tank Buster is verging on S, but it's not quite. It's lacking in a few areas that bring it down to just be the best in the A tier. It is still very, very good. It is very much a get out of jail free card when you get into trouble in this game. I think a lot of people who, especially in the ace contracts, and not just the ace of spades, but like ace of diamonds, not so much ace of hearts, but like even the ace of clubs, sometimes you can get into situations where you're like, crap, I'm pinned down and I have no health and I need something to just like blow up all of the armor in the area. And this is that. So.
Yeah, it's definitely something that can come in and save you in a very clutch situation.
Gunship Support 3 was the most surprising find. This thing is actually really fun and surprisingly practical. You could use this to clear out an entire area around an HVT without killing the HVT. And who knew? I had no idea. I had no idea that it lasted a minute. Yeah, pretty good. Strategic Missile Strike, this is probably like the quote-unquote hottest take of this session. And I probably think this is more fun and cool than most people do, which is why it got to this point, because while it is effective, it's not really more effective than, like, you know, air superiority, for example. Cruise Missile Strike. Cruise Missile Strike pretty much only earns its slot because it can destroy hardened targets. Otherwise, there's really no reason for it to exist, other than it being like a satellite guided bunker buster. So it like deserves A tier, but I don't think it's like cool or fun or unique enough to like. If the game introduced the Cruise Missile Strike first, and if it kind of like held that spot that the bunker buster does, like maybe it would be higher. So like this could just be a bit of like bias going into it, but it's more expensive than the bunker buster, and I would argue it's a lot less practical.
Yeah, I think something that really kind of takes it back is because the bunker buster is just better in so many ways.
Yeah.
Like if there were 2 levels of hardened targets and like you use the cruise missile on like say the ace of clubs, and then you get like an introduction of, oh, there are even harder targets, so we're going to need something even better.
Yes.
Then it would work better, but because of how it is, it's just you get the bunker buster first,
right?
So there's never a reason to use the cruise missile.
Yeah, by the time you get the cruise missile, you're kind of like, well, I already have this, and it's cheaper and better. So
yeah.
Fuel Air Bomb is next up. This is top of B tier, and it is only here because it's cool. This is one of the lamest in terms of like how much show there is versus how effective it is and how much it costs. This is honestly, I'm gonna put this below Air Superiority. I'm gonna put Air Superiority as the top of B because Air Superiority like has some very, very useful applications. I just hate that it blows up your own helicopter. Like I've had enough situations where I've wanted to use this, but I'm near my own helicopter and it like blows mine up and I'm just like pissed off, you know? So.
Oh yeah.
Granted, that's not really what this is designed for. I mean, this is definitely designed to be the get out of jail free card if you're on foot and being harassed by helicopters. So like.
But it really comes into play of how often is that.
Yeah, right.
Where it can, but dealing with the tanks, that can come up way more than dealing with the helicopters.
Yeah. I might need to put Air Superiority into A tier, though, just on the grounds of, like, I don't know. I actually do find it useful. Like, I remember in casual playthroughs, it was, like, less so than Tank Buster, but it definitely was. Like, if you got, like, a gunship, like a North Korean gunship coming at you, and you do not have a Stinger missile, what do? I guess you get into a vehicle like a tank and shoot it down.
But, yeah, I mean, there are options to deal with it.
Yeah.
It's just The air superiority is probably the cleanest.
Yeah. I'll leave it at top of B or top of B. I think I could do an entire playthrough without air superiority, and I would not be. But then I could also say that about the cruise missile strike. This is difficult because it's like two things are equal. Like if you have the exact same airstrike twice in the game, but one is slightly worse, it's almost unfair how much the slightly worse one gets bumped down as a result. You know, it's like, well, it's basically the same thing, but the fact that it's a little bit worse, like, I don't know. I'm tempted to move air superiority to A tier above cruise missile. How do you feel about that? Is that too generous?
I mean, now take this with a grain of salt because my memory is terrible, but I never ever remember using the air superiority. It never came up for me. But that is also just me.
Yeah. Well, how does chat feel? How do you guys feel about the air superiority?
There you go.
I'll move on. I'll move on from that. But yeah, you guys put your thoughts in here. Oh, can you maybe you can make a vote, Prenup?
I was already on it.
Yeah. Should air superiority be A tier or B tier? That's the vote. Or maybe no. Maybe just leave it open ended. What tier should air superiority be, and put all of them as options? Fuel air bombs next. I kind of already talked about that. Stealth fighter is in B tier only because of its effectiveness. It's like a pretty good for like bang for your buck. It's good. It's so much worse than the surgical strike though, so it's rendered somewhat pointless. But it is $5,000 cheaper. So if you're on a budget. C tier is filled with gunship supports. They just don't last long enough to escape this. Cluster bomb is in D tier as something that is like just marginally better than the artillery strikes, and all the artillery strikes are just terrible. They are so bad that the better versions of them make it worse because they're more expensive. So yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty much it. I think maybe strategic missile I should bump down, perhaps. Like, it doesn't really make sense that I put cruise missile below. Like, if I'm thinking bunker buster's better than surgical, then logically the cruise missile strike is better than the strategic, right? Because they're like the satellite versions of these two airstrikes. So, but no, because I'm gonna leave it the way it is. I'm pretty happy with how I have this. Has a roll and it does it perfectly. I wouldn't say it does it perfectly. I think if it did it perfectly, if it didn't target your own helicopter, if the game had a way of like registering vehicles that are yours, kind of like GTA does, and then like you load up a game and like your vehicle's in the garage, something like that, and the airstrike used that value to not target your helicopter.
Yeah, it should really just be. And you know what? Actually, on that note, that does exist because that's how it chooses which vehicle to put in like the garage area or the parking area when you start a contract.
That's right. That's right. And on top of that, I would even push it a step further and say, I don't think air superiority should be used for any helicopter that is on the ground. Like, it's frustrating that if there are birds in the air and you call this in, it destroys all the birds on the ground too that you actually might have wanted to use.
Yeah, like it should target just things that are actively a threat.
Yeah, like flying enemy aircraft should be the only thing this thing targets, but instead it targets helicopters that are on the ground, which doesn't even make sense. Like, if you're thinking about this from like a realism perspective, the way this thing would acquire targets would be to like not scan for objects that are shaped like helicopters. It would just be to scan for like flying hot things, right?
Yeah.
It would just like shoot things that are hot and in the air.
Well, see, I see why it doesn't do that though, because if it did that, and you got up in the air and you were Matthias, you'd be so hot that it would just target Matthias only.
That's true. I didn't consider that, but yeah. No.
Also, y'all better use this poll because I worked hard on it. It took me like 12 seconds, so somebody better vote on it besides me. There we go.
I don't even see it.
Yeah, I don't know how it looks in like OBS or something. I don't know if you can even access it in OBS.
Oh, I
think
see
you
it.
have to be in Twitch.
I see it, yeah. Let's see if I can vote on this. B. There we go. Oh, 100% on B so far. Does this thing update, like, quickly?
I think it does. I think it's pretty close to live.
Okay. But no, I'm pretty happy with this. This is, I think, this is my, I think, final answer on my tier list. So I now invite all of you Mercenaries fans, make your own tier lists, share them in the Discord. I am very, very curious what you guys all think. I did not share the link to this because I wanted to be the first one to make a tier list, but I'll share the link to this and like make it public and everything so that other people can contribute. But yeah, I don't think I have any closing thoughts. Prenup, do you have anything?
I wish the cluster bomb was better. That's the only thought that I have, because cluster bombs are cool, but this cluster bomb sucks.
It's pretty bad. Yeah, I'm really happy that we got like a distribution here. I mean, it's like a pretty evenly distributed, you know, ranking here. C and D were like kind of redundant tiers. I don't think I needed 6 tiers to rank these, but yeah, worked out pretty well. Cool. Well, thanks for watching, everyone. That comes up on. Surprisingly, I took 2.5 hours to do this. I was not expecting this to go that long. I doubt anyone's actually going to want to watch this on YouTube. But yeah, if anyone does watch on YouTube and you stuck through the end, appreciate it. And yeah, I'll catch you all in the next one. I'm probably going to end the stream there.